Good evening, everyone. This is Mark back here with Team Shooter. I'm here to give you another free pick. This time it's going to be in the NFL. But before we get into that, let's quickly recap on what happened yesterday. Unfortunately, we picked up a loss with the University of Washington over the Oregon Ducks, as the University of Washington had a 14-point lead in the third quarter. We were definitely feeling good about our pick until late, when the Washington Huskies defense has been definitely questionable all this year, just ended up giving up that game, and the offense just didn't do enough to continue to kind of pick up the pieces for the lack of their defense. And if it wasn't for what was basically a questionable no call pass interference there with about 30 seconds left, that kind of ended the Huskies' drive and their chances in that game. But again, that's sports betting. Sometimes those things will go your way, sometimes they won't. I'm not going to sit here and blame our pick based on officiating, as I know that Pac-12 officiating is notoriously awful, and it doesn't shock me that they made something so blatant as that. But either way, we are going to be headed into the NFL, and we're going to be looking at the Detroit Lions versus the Minnesota Vikings, and we like the Detroit Lions at plus 2.5 at minus 105. We also like them on the money line at plus 125. And why do we like this play? Well, we definitely feel like this is an overreaction by the public, as they're seeing the Vikings as they just mollywopped the Eagles last week, as they won 38-20. And we all definitely saw what happened with the Detroit Lions on Monday, as some really piss poor officiating again by the NFL, where they ended up dropping that game to the Packers 23-22. So the Lions actually opened up in this spot as the favorite, but because the public has bet so heavily on the Vikings, they have now moved them into as a dog. So the opening line is kind of what we're looking at right now. And again, as we talked about before in previous videos, we definitely try to look for overreactions by the public, and find these are good spots for us to find a favorable number, where the public was where Vegas was telling us who the favorite was, but now the public has now done an overreaction. And if you go back to not even 2 weeks ago, the public was ready to throw Kirk Cousins into the water and say he was a miserable quarterback. This guy couldn't get right. He was awful. That was a terrible signing. They're spending too much money on him. But now they're all of a sudden the favorite on the road against the Lions. I definitely feel like this is a recency bias, just going back to last week, where the Lions should have won. The Vikings definitely won, and that was a great win for them. But it was also against the Eagles, who possibly play in a division that no one wants to win right now. So we definitely like the Lions in this spot, as we are definitely seeing a hole right here and a definite overreaction from the public. So this is definitely where we want to fade them. So we will be taking the Lions at plus 125, and we'll also be taking them on the spread at plus 2.5 at minus 105. And as always, please like and subscribe to this channel. But we also had a lot of fun today. We released the Discord earlier last night, and a lot of people came in and subscribed. If you were in there later this evening, a lot of us were sitting down. We were watching the Michigan game, and Shooter came online and said, "Hey, let's take the Michigan plus 21," and that ultimately cashed, as a few of us cashed on that game, as well as we also had Michigan pregame at the plus 8.5, I think it was, or plus 9. Either way, definitely both those ended up cashing, as Michigan was looking like they were going to get blown out in the first half, but they definitely came back to make that somewhat of a game. But that's kind of the concept you can see in the Discord. There's a lot of feedback, a lot of people interacting, talking about what they like, what they see, what they're currently seeing as things are going on. And as we have a full game in the NFL tomorrow, I definitely expect to be a lot of chatter going on in the Discord. So please go ahead. I will leave the link in the description below. Go ahead and subscribe to the Discord. Come there and join us, as we will be continuing to give out plays live. And if anything, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any comments, please leave them below. And if anything, we'll be back here again tomorrow to give you another free pick. Thank you. Good night.